So we have some recent foreign policy news and some discourse, of course, surrounding it. Trump team says Israel-Hezbollah ceasefire deal brokered by Biden is actually Trump's win. This is from the Associated Press, by the way. So the Biden administration kept President-elect Donald Trump's incoming administration closely apprised of its efforts to broker the ceasefire deal between Israel and Hezbollah that is slated to go into effect early Wednesday, according to the outgoing Democratic administration. Trump's team, meanwhile, was quick to spike the football and claim credit for the rare spot of good news for a Democratic administration that's been dragged down by the grinding Mideast conflict. Quote, "Everyone is coming to the table because of President Trump," Florida Representative Mike Waltz, Trump's choice for national security advisor, said in an X post on Tuesday, shortly before the Israel cabinet signed off on the agreement. His resounding victory sent a clear message to the rest of the world that chaos won't be tolerated. I'm glad to see concrete steps towards de-escalation in the Middle East. The Biden administration's reported coordination with Trump's team on its efforts to forge the ceasefire in Lebanon is perhaps the highest profile example of cooperation in what's been a sometimes choppy transition period. Trump's transition team just on Tuesday reached a required agreement with President Joe Biden's White House that will allow transition staff to coordinate with the existing federal workforce before Trump takes office on January 20th. There has been some cooperation on high levels between the outgoing Biden and incoming Trump teams, including talk between Biden's national security advisor, Jake Sullivan, and Waltz. Biden, in Rose Garden remarks on Tuesday, cheered the ceasefire agreement as a critical step that he hoped could be the catalyst for a broader peace in the Mideast, which has been shaken by nearly 14 months of war following Hamas's attack on Israel on October 7th. This is designed to be a permanent cessation of hostilities, Biden said. What is left of Hezbollah and other terrorist organizations will not be allowed. I emphasize, will not be allowed to threaten the security of Israel again. White House officials are now hopeful that a calm in Lebanon will reinvigorate a multi-country effort at finding an endgame to the devastating war in Gaza, where Hamas is still holding dozens of hostages and the conflict is more intractable. Biden said the U.S. and Israel will engage in talks in the coming days with officials from Egypt, Qatar, and Turkey to try to get Gaza talks back on track. But during Biden's moments of success in a conflict that has roiled his reputation at home and abroad, the specter of the incoming Trump administration loomed large. So I just want to know what Mike Waltz's basis for saying that this is all because of Trump is. This seems like one of those scenarios where all roads lead to Rome, or as they say, it's just motivated reasoning. So if something good happens, we have to give Trump credit. If something bad happens, we have to blame Biden. Never mind that Biden's the one in power right now. Trump's not. Generally, if Biden does something bad, that means Biden's to blame for it. But if Biden does something good, that means Biden gets credit for it. So I don't quite know what on earth Mike Waltz is talking about here. This is pretty typical of the MAGA movement. Trump's senior national security team was briefed by the Biden administration as negotiations unfolded and came to a conclusion on Tuesday, according to a senior Biden admin official. The official who briefed reporters on the condition of anonymity on a call organized by the White House added that the incoming Trump administration officials were not directly involved in the talks, but that it was important that they knew what we were negotiating and what the commitments were. Trump's team and allies, meanwhile, said that there was no doubt that the prospect of the Republican president returning to power pushed both sides to get the agreement done. Really? Or is that just speculation on your part? That sounds highly speculative. Waltz, in addition to giving Trump credit for the ceasefire deal coming together, added a warning to Iran, Hezbollah's chief financial backer. But let's be clear. The Iran regime is the root cause of the chaos and terror that has been unleashed across the region. We will not tolerate the status quo of their support for terrorism, Waltz said in his post. Senator Lindsey Graham, a Trump ally, also a neocon by the way, gave a shout out to the incoming administration while giving a nod to Biden's team. I appreciate the hard work of the Biden administration, supported by Trump, to make this ceasefire a reality, Graham said in a statement. Richard Goldberg, a senior advisor at the Washington Group Foundation for the Defense of Democracies, said the moment magnifies that Iran, which he said would have needed to approve of Hezbollah agreeing to the deal, is carefully weighing what lays ahead with Trump. There's no doubt that Iran is pulling back to regroup ahead of Trump coming into office, said Goldberg, a National Security Council official in Trump's first administration. It's a combination of Israeli military success and Trump's election. The Ayatollah has no clothes, and he knows we know. Wow. So a combination of Israeli military and Trump's election, not going to give any credit to the Democratic administration. That is pretty rich, but I can't say it hasn't been done before. You might remember Reagan was viewed as a tough guy, so there was this conventional wisdom that the hostages were released right after he was inaugurated. The Iran hostages were because they were scared of Reagan. They know Reagan doesn't put up with their international tomfoolery, and he's not afraid to flex some American muscle on them, whereas Jimmy Carter was. That is proven to be untrue. And it looks like the Trump team's assertions are roughly just as baseless. So yeah, I don't normally cover foreign policy stories, I admit. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. If you like this video, please leave a like, comment, or subscribe to the channel. And as always, thank you for watching, and I look forward to speaking to you in the next video.